Some days, leadership doesn't feel like leading. It feels like triage, urgent, endless, and reactive. A school leader once told me, I start every week with a plan, but by mid-Monday morning, I'm firefighting, and by Friday, I've barely touched what actually matters. And the worst part, it wasn't because she lacked clarity or focus or energy. It was because the system she was leading in, like so many, was designed for survival, not strategy. Crisis wasn't the exception, it was the rhythm. And when you're stuck in that rhythm for long enough, something shifts. You stop thinking ahead. You stop prioritizing long-term vision. You stop feeling like a leader, and you start feeling like a coordinator of chaos. That's what I call triage leadership. And while it may feel normal, it's not sustainable. So let's talk about 3 powerful shifts I've seen help leaders move from reactivity to real presence-driven leadership, even when the system keeps pulling them into the weeds. First, moving from urgency to rhythm. In one school, a principal said something that changed the way I think about time. She said, we treat everything like it's a 5-alarm fire, but most things just need a plan, not a panic. Her calendar used to be full of pop-up meetings, back-to-back crisis check-ins, and last-minute catch-ups, and then all the things that derailed those plans. Now, she builds in protected time every day for non-urgent, high-impact work. No exceptions. And here's what she learned. You can't lead from your inbox, and you definitely can't lead from a crisis log. Urgency is contagious, but so is rhythm. When leaders protect space to think, prioritize, and breathe, it gives everyone else permission to do the same. So try this. Block out 1 hour a day for strategic thinking, non-negotiable. This isn't a luxury, it's your clarity anchor. 1 interrupted hour a day allows you to shift from reactivity to reflection. You'll make better decisions, spot long-range issues earlier, and reduce the mental clutter that leads to fatigue. You'll know it's working when you stop starting your day in reaction mode, when you begin seeing patterns in the noise, and you leave the day with energy, not just output. Next, create a triage window for your team. 1 set time daily for issues. And maybe you need to set 1 in the morning and 1 in the afternoon, but only during those times can those issues be brought up. Now, this sets boundaries between real urgency and reactive default. It gives people structure while giving you back control of your calendar. You'll know this is working when you find fewer interruptions, more staff problem-solving before escalation, and improved focus and reduced fatigue. But don't just build time for crisis. Build time to prevent it. Anticipate pressure points, schedule check-ins, protect proactive time like it's sacred, because it is. Now, you'll know this is working if you have fewer last-minute breakdowns, more early heads-up, and a noticeable shift from chaos to calm. The second shift is moving from busyness to purpose. I once worked with a deputy principal who said, I've never been this busy, and I've never felt this irrelevant. It was devastating, but not surprising, because being busy doesn't mean you're being useful. And in schools, we often reward volume over value. It's something I unpacked in another video called Glorifying Overwork. When overfunctioning becomes the default, reflection dies, and so does purpose. Leadership isn't about doing more, it's about knowing what's worth doing. When I asked her what she wanted to spend time on, she paused and then said, supporting my team, having real conversations, coaching, not correcting. So we rebuilt her schedule to reflect her values, not just her responsibilities. The result? She did less and led more. Try this yourself. Track your week. How much time are you spending on work only you can do? Print your calendar. Highlight the strategic leadership time versus admin and logistics. The ratio might surprise you. And then ask your team what they actually need from you. What's one thing I do that helps? What's one thing you don't need from me? This opens up honest feedback and helps you eliminate wasted effort. You'll know this is working when staff feel more seen and supported. You start letting go of invisible expectations that were weighing everyone down. Then, build clarity rituals. 15 minutes a week to zoom out and realign. Whether it's journaling, a whiteboard review, or a Friday reflection, this simple pause can reset your entire week. Signs you know this is working are decisions become clearer, priorities shift faster, and you catch leadership drift before it becomes burnout. Shift 3 is moving from control to capacity. One school I visited had a real pattern. The more pressure they felt, the tighter the leadership became. More approvals, more policies, more surveillance. It was a natural reaction, but it slowly suffocated the team. In triage mode, it's easy to grab the wheel. But leadership isn't about holding tighter, it's about building more hands. Instead of controlling harder, the principal made a different move. Delegated with intention, named clear decision-making boundaries, built a culture where asking for help wasn't weakness, it was strategy. And what happened? Staff confidence rose, collaboration increased, and the leader finally had room to lead again. So, here's some things you can try. First, ask, where am I the bottleneck? Look for decisions or processes that always wait for you. Then ask, what would it take to let this go? The result is things keep moving without your constant input. Staff feel more empowered, and your schedule opens up for higher leverage work. Next, name 3 decisions this month you don't need to make and pass them on. Start small, make the transfer visible, support the learning, and celebrate the outcome. The impact of this will be staff begin anticipating and not asking. Confidence rises, and delegation becomes culture, not just convenience. Next, shift your role from fixer to facilitator. Stop being the answer. Start being the question. Ask more than you tell. Trust more than you monitor. The impact of this is that staff begin to come to you with solutions. Conversations deepen, you feel trusted, and you trust more freely. Now, triage mode isn't a leadership flaw. It's a system response. But here's the shift. You don't escape triage by doing more. You escape it by leading differently, with rhythm, with purpose, with clarity and presence, not just pressure. Because when you build that space for yourself, you build it for your team. And when your team has that space to lead, everything changes. Now, this is exactly the kind of things that I explore in the Professional Wellness Workshop, a free space I've created for school leaders ready to move from survival mode to sustainable strategic leadership. There's a link below, and when you register, you'll also receive an advanced copy of my new book, Culture of Excellence: The Path to Empowered Teaching, Inspired Learning, and Intentional Leadership. So, what's helped you step out of triage mode and lead with more intention? Drop it in the comments. I'd really love to know. If this connected with you, give it a like and follow for more clarity-first leadership insights. And share this with a colleague who's drowning in urgent but starving for impact. I look forward to seeing you in the workshop.